Hey guys, I'm Twelve58 here. Today I'm going to get into another frequently asked questions video, which means I'm going to go to the comment section and I'm going to listen to 3 comments from 3 different videos, and I'm going to try to answer whatever you guys are interested in, whether it's criticism or, sincere, honest questions. I don't know what I'm getting into here, so you'll be the first to discover it along with me. Let's do it. While I'm pulling it up, my name is Dwayne Cunningham. I go by Twelve58. You can call me 12. And actually, side note, I made a video today with my eldest daughter, and that's just for my members only. If you guys are interested in supporting the YouTube channel or what I do here, then one of the ways you could do that is actually check out the members section and then support the channel at whatever level you want. I sincerely appreciate every one of you guys that does that. Thank you. And it helps me create this content. And one of the ways I like to say thank you is by letting them have content that the channel doesn't get otherwise, including whether it's snippets from my family or, personal messages or, whatever else. So anyways, I'm going to leave that alone. If you guys are interested, check it out. Let's get the comments. I haven't talked to Tails in forever. Let's see what Tails is saying. Okay, I really enjoyed this video. Let's see, how did this video do? Yesterday I did this video. Do not overlook these rewards. Soulbound rewards are financial. And 313 views. 300 is good, typical. Yeah, I like this video. I was able to show 3 different recent battles that all feature different Soulbound cards, and I think that points to something meaningful about the financial opportunity held within getting those cards. Sometimes we talk about Soulbound cards as if they are non-financial, as if they have no value. And clearly, if they're allowing us to win the game more often, which I think I've shown, and I think they do, then that makes them financial, because you're receiving extra rewards for your effort because you have those cards and not because you don't, or not when you don't. And so I made that video. Check it out if you're interested. And then the comment from Tails, let's see what he has to say. I haven't talked to Tails in forever. Check out Tails from the Cryptmancer. So he says, observation. 2021's general Web3 concept was play to earn. 2024's updated concept is pay to earn. Only those games that are inherently fun will survive. Everything else will be unsustainable Ponzi as money in an ecosystem eventually dries up. It is a little, I'm not laughing because anything he said is necessarily even wrong, but Tails, dude, your tone is so dark. And it doesn't mean you're wrong, actually. Let's. I hope I can give you your due in this comment, and I will attempt to. I want to finish your thought, and then I'm going to try and share my thoughts. But I'm going to do my best to honestly give you your due in this one here. So he goes, only those games that are inherently fun will survive. That seems absolutely true to me. Everything else will be an unsustainable Ponzi as the money in the ecosystem dries up. Now, if money in the ecosystem dries up in any game or any blockchain-based, system at all, you necessarily have a Ponzi in the sense that the early comers benefit while the newcomers have no one to sell on, is what people would say. So this is technically right, and yet let's see if you show us why Splinterlands might do that. Let's see. It is a little concerning that a majority of Splinterlands battles/players are currently coming from the Wild League, which might indicate that many players are botting their accounts rather than actually playing the game. Okay, I feel like I would love to talk to you about this directly. So Tails, if you're interested in having a little chit chat, maybe like a 15-20 minute video around this particular thing, I bet you, above all other people, have real numbers on some of this stuff, and you've probably done a deep dive on this stuff. And so I almost want to tread lightly in how I respond, because I suspect there's numbers that you're drawing on that I'm not aware of. And so I'll say, with respect to the number of battles and players that are currently in the Wild League, I have ways that I can imagine I'd be able to access that information, and yet I don't really know those numbers anymore. The last time I remember hearing anything about those numbers was when Matt talked about this on a town hall, which is probably 2 months ago, before they reworked how the rewards were happening. That's might as well be forever ago. And so I don't really know. And I think then he said there might have been 40,000 accounts, and then how many of those is daily active, and how many of them plays their full daily allotment, and how many of them are real human quote unquote players. So difficult to pin down a bit. And then there was like 3,000 in the modern. And so that like huge distinction across those two leagues. And then we've tweaked that a lot with how we've benefited or buffed the rewards in modern. But all that to say, I don't really know. I don't really know how many people or accounts are operating in Wild and if they're botting. But I also don't know if I necessarily... So I feel like I can't come to terms with you on the numbers because I don't have the numbers. But then I feel like even if we just assume that you're right, that there are a lot of people who are botting in the Wild League, you seem to take that from a perspective of, it's like, I think you're stepping on your own sort of, like you think you're saying, if the game's not fun, it'll die. And the game's not fun. My proof of it not being fun is people bot. If they liked the game, they would play the game. They don't play the game, therefore they don't like the game, therefore it's not fun. And I don't know, man. You have to look at it from a couple perspectives. If, like most complicated situations, there's a complicated conversation that gets you to the answer of, that gets you to the bottom of it. One scratch the surface comment I'll throw at you is, just because people don't have time for the game doesn't mean they don't like the game. And you might counter and say, if they're not playing the game, they don't love it. And I'm talking about need to love it. Well, there's still a good number of people, more than ever, that love the game. And I say that based on daily active users. This information came to me through Splinterlands team members. I don't know if I can say who and I don't have the data to pull up in front of you, but I was told 4,800 daily active users. I don't know how that number is even reached. It's not like I cannot tell you that I audited their approach to how that information is tracked, but that kind of sits well with my pre-understanding of what that would have been. And even Tails, I think you would agree, you might have been the first one to point me to the fact that if there's 5,000 accounts that have a single plot of land, that would point to 5,000 active users. Now I forget how many accounts have a plot of land. It might be 3,500, 4,000 or something like that. But you see my point. There are some indicators that there are probably more daily active users, and according to Splinterlands, it's a bigger number than some might have thought. If it's 4,000, 3,000, 5,000, those are small, trivial numbers compared to other ecosystems and compared to where we've been. But they're not compared to where we started. We started with dozens of players, literally dozens of players, and it was a thriving thing that stuck around. And if we 10x that player base, that's a big improvement. Now, it's piddly, it's inadequate, it's not sufficient for long term. I feel as though there's a lot more I want to say, but I might just pin it by driving home the fact that I don't know that you've proved that the game is quote unquote not fun by implying, even though you've implied that a large number of players are botting, because some people don't have time. It doesn't mean they don't enjoy it, just means they don't have time. 2, some people like me bot and play as often as we possibly can. 3, if they're still active in the ecosystem apart from the battle mechanic, you can still be a player of Splinterlands. I think you agree with me on this. The game of Splinterlands is only partially a collectible card game auto brawler. That is a big part of what this game is, but absolutely the game within the game is the economics, the tokenomics, playing the ecosystem, renting the right cards, buying the right cards, selling at certain highs, buying others later. All of that stuff is actually a game too. We don't think of it as a game sometimes, but absolutely you win or you lose when you buy SPS at the right low and you sell it at the right high, or when when you hit harvest on your land and SPS comes out. There's valuation coming into your hands, and you created a scenario that led you to that. And so there's different ways to engage the game, and some of those are more difficult to measure in terms of whether activity is transpiring. And finally, if one plays the battle mechanic and another plays the financial aspect and the third plays liquidity pools but doesn't touch any of it, from an investment standpoint, they're still involved in this ecosystem in ways that I think matter. I think you do agree that those would be game elements in a sense, but I don't think you actually are fairly acknowledging that within the tone of a comment like this, where you're saying, I think you're saying, the game's not fun and it's therefore going to fail. And to circle back to my initial sort of reaction, my gut reaction to your comment, I mean, it's negative, man. It's really negative. And yet I just was watching like a few days ago. I mean, you've watched SPS kind of tick up. You've watched, I think, sentiment change. You've seen things around the altcoin market get exciting. I don't understand why one would share your sentiment in this moment apart from, it's been a long, hard bear market. Like, it's grinding and painful. But in this moment, if you just, now, you're going to say I got rose-colored glasses. People do all the time. But I say in this moment where things have been so bad and it feels like there's an opportunity to be excited. And I say that not because of what I hold, I think I say that because of what the team has done, how the foundation has stayed, some of the vision for the future and what I think that'll do for it. And that for the broader crypto market and how exciting I think some of that piece is. And so, I don't know, man. While I superficially agree, I explicitly agree that if it's not fun, it won't survive. I directly disagree with the implication that it's not. And the growth we've seen, while isn't apparently up to your sort of, and maybe many's sort of expectations or desires, we've seen growth, significant. And I feel as though we're poised for much bigger, greater gains in terms of financial as well as player-based growth. Do you disagree with that? I don't know why you would, maybe. That would almost be the question I'd want. See, this would be a great conversation, give and take, because I'd love to hear you actually articulate why you think the next 6 months looks concerning. To me, there's just so many green lights in front of us. And that's exciting. I should leave it there. That might even have to be the full video. Is that a 10-minute? It's a 14-minute conversation, guys. And I actually want to just leave it there for Tails. Tails, sincerely, brother, thank you for covering the game. Thank you for covering crypto. Thank you for being a bit of a second voice or a contrarian voice is what I mean to say, because it is valuable to have two perspectives. I think I am being objective when I speak my confidence, and I give 4 different reasons why I'm confident currently. What I hear you saying is, we've gone down for a long time. There's no path forward because it's not fun. Maybe I'm going too far with that language, but that's kind of how I hear you saying it. And so once again, guys, check out Tails' channel. Have an amazing day. And Tails, if you would like to hop on for like a 30-minute conversation sometime soon, let's do that. Let's talk about this. And anything else. There's a new mini set coming. There's Rebellion's closing up shop. The summoners are getting exciting. The market has definitely changed in some big ways. Some of the untamed summoners are selling out. Kitties were falling down to $300-$400. Now I saw them yesterday around $700. And so I think there's a lot to be excited about. SPS has gone from 40042 to 0074 or something like that. And yeah, it's trickled backward over the last day or two. But look, there we are, 007 at this very moment, according to Live Coin Watch. That's exciting. I mean, there's reasons to be excited. Is it certain that we're going to get that home run? No. So take it with a grain of salt. What I'm saying, take some of what Tails is saying with a grain of salt. Maybe listen to both sides of that picture and make your own mind up. Thanks, guys. Have an amazing day. God bless.